I got pregnant by my husband's brother and we moved into his house like we'd won. He sold it from under us, and I watched us get evicted publicly while he smiled. I got pregnant by my husband's brother and convinced myself it was justified because I deserved to be happy. That's the lie I told myself for 6 months while I destroyed my marriage. While I looked Jake in the eyes every morning and pretended the baby growing inside me was his. While his brother Ryan stayed for dinner 3 nights a week and we played the perfect family. Jake and I had been married for 4 years. Stable. Comfortable. Boring. He worked in accounting. Left at 7, home by 6. Predictable. Safe. Everything I thought I wanted until Ryan moved back to town. Ryan was everything Jake wasn't. Spontaneous. Exciting. He'd been traveling for 2 years, living in different cities, working freelance. He came back temporarily and Jake offered to let him stay in our guest room until he found a place. That was my first mistake. Or maybe my first mistake was the way I looked at Ryan when Jake introduced us at the airport. The way my stomach flipped. The way I thought this is what I've been missing. I started the affair 6 weeks after Ryan moved in. Jake was at a work conference. Ryan and I split a bottle of wine. One thing led to another. That's what people say, right? One thing led to another. Like it just happened. Like we had no control. We had control. I had control. I chose to kiss him back. Chose to go to his room. Chose to betray the man who'd given me everything. The affair continued for 5 months. Jake suspected nothing. Why would he? His brother was family. I was his wife. We were all living under the same roof, playing happy family. I got pregnant 3 months in. The timing was perfect, or so I thought. Jake and I were still having sex occasionally. Just enough that I could pretend the baby was his. Ryan and I talked about it late at night when Jake was asleep. We decided to keep quiet. Let Jake think he was going to be a father. Once the baby comes, we can be together, Ryan would whisper. We'll tell him then. When there's a reason. I believed him. Believed we were in love. Believed this was my second chance at happiness. Believed all the lies we told ourselves in the dark. Jake was thrilled about the pregnancy. Started planning the nursery. Bought baby books. Told everyone at work. His parents cried with joy. His mother hugged me and said I was giving her the grandchild she'd prayed for. I smiled through all of it. Pretended I was excited. Pretended the baby was his. Pretended I wasn't sleeping with his brother in the room down the hall while he worked late to save money for our growing family. The guilt ate at me sometimes. Late at night when Jake would put his hand on my stomach and talk to the baby. Tell it stories about the family it was being born into. The grandfather who'd teach it to fish. The Uncle Ryan who'd take it on adventures. Uncle Ryan. The baby's actual father. But I pushed the guilt down. Told myself I deserved this. Jake was boring. Ryan made me feel alive. That was worth the lies, wasn't it? My friends noticed something was off. Sarah asked me point blank if I was happy. I laughed it off. Said pregnancy hormones were making me emotional. She didn't look convinced. Social media didn't help. I'd see other women posting about their exciting lives, their passionate relationships. Jake would be sitting next to me on the couch doing a crossword puzzle, and I'd feel this rage. This resentment. Like I'd been cheated out of the life I deserved. Ryan fed into it. Told me Jake was holding me back. That I deserved better. That we could have a real life together, just the 3 of us. He had plans. We'd move somewhere new. Start fresh. Be a real family. I was 5 months pregnant when Jake found out. Not because he suspected. Not because I confessed. Because Ryan's ex-girlfriend found out and told him. She'd seen us together at a restaurant across town. Taken photos. Sent them to Jake at work with a message. Thought you should know what your brother and wife are up to. Jake came home early that day. Found Ryan and me in the kitchen making dinner. Acting normal. Acting innocent. He didn't yell. Didn't throw things. Just stood in the doorway and said, I know. 2 words. That's all it took for my world to collapse. Ryan and I both started talking at once. Explaining. Justifying. Making excuses. Jake held up his hand. Don't. Just don't. He walked upstairs. Came back down with a suitcase. I'm leaving. You two can have the house. Have each other. Have whatever the hell you want. Jake, wait, I started. Is the baby mine? I couldn't speak. The silence answered for me. He looked at Ryan. You're my brother. Ryan actually tried to defend it. Jake, man, we didn't mean for this to happen. We fell in love. Get out of my sight. Both of you. It's my house too, I said. Stupid. Defensive. I have rights. Jake laughed. It was the coldest sound I'd ever heard. Actually, you don't. The house is in my name. Bought before we got married. You can check with a lawyer if you want. But you have zero claim to this house. He left. Just walked out. Didn't take anything but that suitcase. Got in his car and drove away. Ryan and I stood in the kitchen in shock. Then Ryan grabbed my hand. It's okay. This is what we wanted, right? Now we can be together. No more hiding. I wanted to believe him. Wanted to believe this was our happy ending starting. We stayed in the house. Jake's house. For 3 weeks he didn't come back. Didn't call. Didn't respond to texts. Just silence. Ryan and I played house. Slept in the master bedroom. Ate at the dining table. Made plans for the baby. Convinced ourselves we'd won. That Jake had given up. That we'd get to keep this life we'd stolen. He's not coming back, Ryan said. He gave up. The house is ours now. We were naive. Stupid. Arrogant. We were in the living room when the doorbell rang. A woman in a suit holding a clipboard. Behind her, a couple in their 50s. Can I help you? I asked. I'm looking for the current occupants, she said. I'm the realtor representing the new owners. Mr. and Mrs. Chen. They're here to do a walkthrough of their new property. My blood went cold. What? The house. They purchased it 3 weeks ago. Closing was yesterday. They take possession today. She checked her clipboard. You were supposed to be notified. Did you not receive the eviction notice? Eviction notice? Ryan stepped forward. This is Jake's house. Our house. He can't sell it. Mr. Sullivan sold the property. It's all legal. You have until 5 p.m. to vacate or the sheriff will remove you. The couple behind her looked uncomfortable. We didn't know anyone was still living here, Mrs. Chen said. The sale went through so quickly. The realtor pulled out papers. Showed us the sale documents. Jake had sold the house to them for cash. Below market value for a quick sale. 3 weeks from listing to close. He'd planned it. The moment he found out, he'd listed the house. Arranged the sale. Set up our eviction. All while Ryan and I were playing house in his bedroom. We need to call Jake, I said. This is a mistake. The realtor shook her head. Mr. Sullivan made it very clear. The occupants have no legal claim to the property. He said you'd understand why. Ryan tried to argue. Threatened to sue. Made a scene. The realtor pulled out her phone. I can call the sheriff right now if you prefer. We started packing. What else could we do? We had no claim. No rights. No leg to stand on. The Kins waited in their car while we threw our belongings into garbage bags. My clothes. Ryan's stuff. All the baby items Jake had bought, still in boxes in what was supposed to be the nursery. Neighbors came out to watch. Word spreads fast on our street. They'd known Jake for years. Known us as a couple. Now they watched us get kicked out and they knew exactly why. Mrs. Patterson from next door actually said it out loud. That's what happens when you sleep with your husband's brother. Karma. My face burned. Ryan grabbed my arm. Let's just go. Where? I asked. Where are we supposed to go? He didn't have an answer. We loaded everything into his car. Didn't even have time to be careful. Just threw it all in. The Kins watched from their car. The realtor stood on the porch making notes. As we were pulling away, I saw Jake. Parked across the street in a car I didn't recognize. He was just sitting there. Watching. When our eyes met through the car windows, he smiled. Not a happy smile. A cold, satisfied smile. The smile of someone who'd won. We drove to a motel. Used Ryan's credit card for one night. Sat on the edge of the bed surrounded by garbage bags and realized we had nothing. No house. No plan. No future we'd actually thought through beyond the fantasy. It'll be okay, Ryan said. We'll figure it out. But he didn't sound convinced. And I was 6 months pregnant with nowhere to live. That night, lying in a motel room that smelled like bleach and regret, I realized something. We hadn't won. We'd lost everything. And Jake had known exactly what he was doing when he walked away. He'd given us just enough rope to hang ourselves with. The motel only lasted 3 nights before Ryan's credit card declined. We moved to a cheaper one on the edge of town. $40 a night. Stains on the carpet. Noise through the walls. Ryan started making calls. Looking for places to rent. Every landlord asked the same questions. Credit check. References. Rental history. When they pulled his credit and saw a recent eviction, they politely decline. We were toxic. Untouchable. Nobody wanted to rent to a couple who'd been thrown out of their last place. It's temporary, Ryan kept saying. We just need to get back on our feet. But we weren't getting back on our feet. We were sinking. Ryan's freelance work dried up. Word traveled in his industry. Jake's friends knew people. Suddenly projects were being cancelled. Contracts weren't renewed. Budget cuts, they'd say. But we knew. My job found out. Someone sent an anonymous email to HR detailing my affair with my brother-in-law. Moral character concerns, they called it when they let me go. I tried to argue that my personal life was separate. They pointed to the morality clause in my contract. I was 5 months pregnant and unemployed. Jake's family cut me off completely. His mother, who'd been calling me daughter for 4 years, blocked my number. His father wouldn't look at me when I saw him at the grocery store. Jake's sister sent me one message: I hope it was worth it. My own family wasn't much better. My mother cried when I told her. How could you do this to Jake? He was perfect for you. He loved you. I wasn't happy, I said. So you destroyed him? Got pregnant with his brother's baby? That's your solution to not being happy? My father wouldn't speak to me at all. Changed the locks when I tried to go home. Sent me a text: you made your bed. Lie in it. Ryan's family was even worse. His parents had always preferred Jake. The responsible one, they called him. Now their golden child had been betrayed by their screw-up son and his brother's wife. Ryan's mother left him a voicemail I heard him listen to: you have destroyed your brother. Destroyed his life. How dare you show your face in this family again? As far as I'm concerned, I have one son. And it's not you. Friends vanished. People who'd been at our wedding, who'd celebrated with us, who'd acted like they'd be there forever. Gone. Blocked on social media. Numbers changed. Invitations stopped coming. Sarah, my best friend since college, sent me a message: I can't be associated with this. What you did is unforgivable. Don't contact me again. The affair partner fantasy was dying fast. In the motel room, reality hit hard. Ryan wasn't exciting anymore. He was stressed. Worried. Short-tempered. When he looked at me, sometimes I saw resentment. This wasn't supposed to happen like this, he'd say. What did you think would happen? I'd snap back. We destroyed his life. He wasn't just going to hand us the house and walk away. We fought. Constantly. About money. About plans. About whose fault this was. You're the one who got pregnant, he said once. Immediately regretted it. But the damage was done. You're the one who said we'd be together. That we'd have a real life. Where's that life, Ryan? He didn't answer. I went to see Jake. Found out where he was staying through a mutual friend who pitied me enough to tell me. Showed up at his apartment. He answered the door, saw me, and started to close it. Please, I said. I need to talk to you. No. Jake, please? I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I was confused. I wasn't thinking clearly. He laughed. Now you weren't thinking clearly? Not when you were sleeping with my brother in my house? Not when you lied about my baby? You weren't thinking clearly then? I didn't mean to hurt you. You absolutely meant to hurt me. You just didn't think I'd find out. That's different. Can we please just talk? I'm 6 months pregnant. I have nowhere to go. Ryan and I are in a motel. And that's my problem, huh? I'm still your wife. Not for long. Divorce papers are being filed next week. You'll be served at whatever address you give the court. I assume a motel? Where am I supposed to go? I don't know. Maybe ask Ryan. He's the one you chose. He doesn't have anything. We can't find a place. Nobody will rent to us after the eviction. The eviction I gave you? Yeah. That's following you around now, isn't it? Funny how that works. You did this on purpose. You destroyed us. No. You destroyed us when you slept with my brother. I just made sure you felt it. I tried to reach for him. He stepped back. Don't touch me. Don't come here again. Don't call. Don't text. We're done. The only communication between us will be through lawyers. He closed the door. I stood in the hallway of his apartment building and cried. Neighbors peeked out. Judged. I could feel it. Ryan's response to my failed attempt with Jake was anger. Why would you go there? What did you think would happen? I thought maybe he'd help. Maybe he'd feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for you? You cheated on him with his brother. You're pregnant with my baby. Why the hell would he feel sorry for you? Because I don't know what else to do. We couldn't afford the motel anymore. Moved into Ryan's car. Slept in parking lots. Walmart. Gas stations. Anywhere security wouldn't kick us out. I was 7 months pregnant, sleeping in a car, washing up in public restrooms. The baby moved constantly now. Kicked. Reminded me of what I'd done. What I'd destroyed. This baby that was supposed to be our new beginning was being born into nothing. Ryan found a temporary gig. Enough to rent a room from someone he knew. 1 room in a shared house with 3 other people. No privacy. Paper-thin walls. But it was better than the car. The other roommates knew our situation. Judged us openly. You're the ones who got caught cheating, right? One of them said at dinner. That's messed up. I spent my days applying for jobs. Nobody would hire a pregnant woman with an employment gap and a questionable past. Ryan was barely making rent. We were living on ramen and food bank donations. I went into labor at 8 months. Early but not dangerously so. Ryan drove me to the hospital. We didn't have insurance. They admitted me anyway but made it clear we'd be getting a massive bill. Labor was 14 hours. Ryan wasn't the supportive partner from the fantasies. He was stressed. Scared. He held my hand but I could feel his anxiety. This wasn't what he'd signed up for. The baby was a boy. Healthy. Perfect. I held him and cried. Not tears of joy. Tears of regret. This baby deserved better than us. Better than this situation we'd created. Ryan looked at his son and I saw it in his eyes. Love mixed with terror. This was real now. A baby. A responsibility. Forever. We named him Lucas. Took him back to our single room in the shared house. The roommates complained about the noise. We had nowhere else to go. Jake never reached out. Never asked about the baby. Why would he? This wasn't his child. This was the physical proof of our betrayal. The divorce was finalized when Lucas was 3 months old. Jake got everything. I got nothing. My lawyer said I could fight it, but with what money? With what ground to stand on? I cheated. Gotten pregnant with his brother's baby. There was no sympathy. No mercy. Ryan started drinking. Not a lot at first. Just a beer after work. Then 2. Then 3. Then coming home drunk while I dealt with a screaming baby in a room that wasn't ours. I can't do this, he said one night. Drunk. Slurring. This isn't what I wanted. What did you want, Ryan? You said we'd be together. You said we'd be a family. I didn't think it would be like this. I thought Jake would just leave. We'd keep the house. Everything would be fine. Well, it's not fine. And we need to deal with it. I don't know if I can. He left 2 weeks later. Packed a bag while I was out with Lucas. Left a note, I'm sorry. I can't be a father. I can't be this person. You're better off without me. Better off. Without him. With a 4-month-old baby. No money. No job. No home. I called him. Texted. Left voicemails. He blocked me on everything. Disappeared. His roommate said he'd moved out of state. No forwarding address. No child support. Nothing. I was completely alone. Had to move back to the shared house but couldn't afford even that. The landlord kicked me out. Me and a baby, evicted again. I ended up at a women's shelter. Me and Lucas in a room with 3 other women and their kids. Shared bathrooms. Curfew. Rules. This was my life now. This was what I'd traded my stable marriage for. A room in a shelter with a baby whose father had abandoned him and whose mother had destroyed every bridge she'd ever built. I tried to reach out to old friends. To family. To anyone. Nobody responded. I was toxic. A cautionary tale. The woman who threw away her life for an affair. Lucas is 2 now. We're in subsidized housing. I work part-time at a grocery store. Barely make ends meet. Can't afford childcare, so I work nights when a neighbor watches him. I haven't heard from Ryan in 2 years. His parents won't tell me where he is. They blame me for corrupting their son. As if he wasn't a willing participant. Jake got remarried. I saw it on social media through a friend's account. He looks happy. His new wife is beautiful. Successful. They're expecting a baby. A legitimate one with a mother who didn't betray him. He deserves it. Deserves that happiness. Deserves a life that isn't built on lies. Lucas asks about his dad sometimes. Where is he? He had to go away, I tell him. What else can I say? That his father abandoned us? That we were built on a foundation of betrayal and it crumbled under the weight? I look at my son and see Ryan's eyes. Jake's smile. A mix of the two brothers who destroyed each other over me. Over my selfishness. My arrogance. My belief that I deserve to be happy no matter who I hurt. The affair lasted 6 months. The consequences are forever. I have no career. No real friends. No family who'll speak to me. I'm raising a child alone in an apartment that's barely livable because I convinced myself I deserved better than a stable, loving marriage. I was bored. That was it. Bored. And I destroyed 3 lives over it. 4, counting Lucas, who'll grow up wondering why his father didn't want him. People still recognize me sometimes. In town. At the store. They whisper. Point. Judge. That's the woman who slept with her husband's brother. I am that woman. Forever. That's my identity now. Not mother. Not ex-wife. The woman who destroyed her marriage for an affair that lasted less time than a pregnancy. Jake knew exactly what he was doing when he sold that house. When he set up our eviction. When he smiled from his car while we loaded our lives into garbage bags. He wasn't being cruel. He was being honest. He was showing us what we'd actually won. Nothing. Less than nothing. We thought we'd won when he walked away. Thought we'd gotten the house, each other, our future. We'd won exactly what we deserved. And it looked like garbage bags in a motel room. Like sleeping in a car. Like being abandoned by everyone who'd ever mattered. I see that smile sometimes in my dreams. Jake sitting in his car. Watching us leave. That cold, satisfied smile. He won. We lost. It was that simple. And I spent every single day for the rest of my life paying for 6 months of thinking I deserved better than what I had. I had everything. And I destroyed it for someone who couldn't even stick around long enough to meet his own child's 2nd birthday. That's what an affair costs. Not just the relationship. Everything. Everyone. Forever. And you don't get a second chance. You don't get to go back. You just get to live with it. Every day. For the rest of your life. Lucas deserves better than me. Better than this life. But this is what he got because I was selfish. Jake deserves his happy ending. His new wife. His baby. His life built on honesty instead of lies. Ryan gets to run away. Start over somewhere else. Pretend Lucas doesn't exist. And I get this. A subsidized apartment. A part-time job. A son who'll eventually ask questions I don't want to answer. A past I can't escape. A mistake that defined the rest of my life. 6 months. That's all it was. 6 months of lying and cheating and convincing myself I deserved to be happy. And now I get to be unhappy forever. In ways I never imagined when I made that first choice to kiss Ryan back. You don't get to win when you're the villain in someone else's story. You just get to watch them move on while you're stuck exactly where your choices left you. And my choices left me here. Alone. Ashamed. A cautionary tale for anyone who thinks they deserve better than what they have without considering what they might lose. I lost everything. And I deserved it.
Her mindset, her resilience, and her refusal to let age define what's possible. Her motto is no old speak. And today she is here to help us rewrite the narrative around aging, one rep at a time. Hi, everybody. Welcome and meet Renee. Renee Landers, girl, I have been stalking you on my Instagram account. I am fascinated with you for a multitude of reasons. First of all, welcome to the podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I think you're going to inspire an enormous amount of